Yeah, well, yeah. So it's been going on since early this morning. I should have wrote his name down. The whip of the Republicans, Sharita Tariq, anyway, has been shot in the hip, and
What?
so he's going through surgery right now. A couple of the aides have been shot there, and so we think this was a planned attack by a middle-aged white man who, while they were practicing on the baseball field, started shooting up the baseball field, and he is in custody, and I think he has been shot as well.
Scalise.
Scalise, yes, that's it. I'm sorry, I didn't know his name. Um,
Crazy.
Anyway, yeah, so that's crazy. And overnight, into the early morning, over in London, a 27-story building caught on fire. I think they say that 6 are dead at least, and there's many more that have been wounded. People jumping out of their windows, and some had a frame of mind, a good frame of mind, to put their sheets together and go down the side of the building. And then they said that the firemen and authorities were there within minutes, and so that saved so many lives. And so we just want to send our prayers out to those in England. Man, England's just been hitting hard. And I can't help but think that, it's more than just physical, it's spiritual. And that because the Bible clearly says that we fight not with just flesh and blood, but there is spiritual wickedness. There is the prince and power of the air. There is evil around us that is doing their best to overtake and take the light and smother it with darkness. And so we need to pray. We need to have some more revivals out in London. Used to have some back. I need to go back to England, but no, not just me, but God's people in England and those, we need to pray for them that they'll go over and just spread revival, that the churches will be revived again, and they'll start thinking about this, about the whole deal with the Muslims as well. I mean, America, we've got to start doing something. They got to start doing something. It's 50-50 almost now, isn't it, that we found out the last time, a percentage between Muslim and the rest of England?
No, I don't think that. I said that. I just said that if somebody had made a point on a show, on a political show, what would happen if it became so? In other words, there was sort of an Islam apologist, and somebody else was basically saying, don't you think that society would change if it became 50%? So
yeah, it's changing already, and so for sure. Well, our prayers there, and of course you can keep checking the news. We like to bring you current news, but this is certainly some sad news today. I don't think there's any fatalities. That's the miracle of it.
I was like, start talking about baseball. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm like, I didn't even know. I didn't even hear about that.
I knew. I knew by the way you reacted. Yeah, you hadn't heard yet, but it was early this morning. Some of the congressmen had left already. Some were still practicing when all this happened, including Scalise. Is his name?
Scalise.
Scalise's.
I'm not sure if I know.
10-year-old son was there.
Oh, gosh.
So but they said the police were there within minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, and took down the gunman, and it's been apprehended. Bullets flew into the nearby YMCA. There's bullet holes in the windows of the YMCA, so they're saying like 50 to 100 shots were fired to.
What was his deal? Do they know? He's a
don't know. Of course, all of it's speculation. Those that are law enforcement professionals are saying that this wasn't a gang. This wasn't a last-minute thing. It was actually obviously planned. They've been practicing there for the past week or so for this big game tomorrow. And so a Caucasian middle-aged man just goes up behind third base. I guess he's over by third base and just started shooting. So that's where Scalise was.
He'll be all right. They think he'll be all right?
They think he is stable. He was shot in the hip, so I don't know if it's a hip replacement or what they do there, but our prayers are with all the families involved there and in London. God, we don't know what the day holds every day, but we know that you are in charge and you saw it coming, and so God, we just pray that you will help these families and you'll help these people and everybody involved. Justice will be served, and you will get glory out of this in some way. So we'll give you praise. We pray for America today and for the peace of Jerusalem. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Also, they're saying don't invest in Uber right now. Stocks are going down. They're having inner office turmoil.
Yes.
Some of the leaders harassing women.
Yeah,
You know, what is it with this? O'Reilly, Bill Cosby, these people that have power, notoriety, think they get away with fondling or touching or whatever women, you know. I know even the president joked about it years before, you know, he became serious with his life and his wife. But, you know, what is it?
That was before he became serious with his life, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was 10 years ago, whatever. We pray that he's rehabilitated and stuff. I mean, there's been no report since that one interview 10 years before. So, you know, and back in the day, and he was, I guess, you know, pressed one woman up against the wall. That kind of crap stuff. Sorry. Just why do these people feel that emptiness that's in their life can be filled with so many great things? And once again, I'm not judging, and I don't know that Bill Cosby's guilty. Of course, what is there, 70 women? There was half a dozen with O'Reilly. There's been, you know, a couple there with the Uber president guy or the founder. You know, I just feel that, well, I know they need prayer. I just feel that there's something that when the enemy, well, first of all, when greed, and maybe they should be the greedy of the day, I don't know, but, you know, the greedy group of the day, but you know, when you become powerful in money or some sort of stature, it just seems like you compromise. Your values go down and you allow so many things. And that's how the enemy uses, like money. The love of money is the root of all evil, or uses the things that could be a blessing to you. Success and financial security can be such a blessing, and then it becomes not enough. And so you need to fill it with something else. And so, you know, I don't understand it. I don't really, you know. I mean, I've seen a lot of beautiful women before, and but being a married man, I just don't. I can't fill any kind of void I may have in any other life with trying to abuse some other person. That's really what it becomes.
You're also just supposed to court a woman, you know. I mean, it's like you know.
Yeah, but if you're married, you shouldn't. And every single one of these guys,
that's true.
You know, are married people, and and you know, it's just for everybody listening, and for the word to be preached today. The thing that will satisfy. Now, that's what I'm talking about, is satisfaction today. You'll never be satisfied when you fill it with stuff that you think it's only God that can satisfy and fill these voids. He'll make your marriage wonderful. He'll make all these things that, you know, maybe and I've heard these dumb excuses, like maybe their sex life wasn't great, you know, so that's no reason, because it can be great if the Lord is really allowed. And I don't know any of these that know the Lord. I know they know about him. You know, O'Reilly's supposed to be a good Catholic, and Cosby, you know, a Christian. And so I'm not judging whether they are or not, because we all have fallen short of the glory of God. But it's a prelude to my message. Okay. Never be satisfied with the things of this world. It will never satisfy, because this is what happens. It's like an addict. When you know, once they've had that thrill and that high, then they got to find another one. And it's the same with money. Money is as addictive as cocaine, crack, and marijuana. I mean, it's all the same thing. If you give somebody and they fall in love, the love of money, it becomes as addictive a thing, because then that's not okay. I got the money, I'm famous. Now what do I do? You know, I've heard it from rich and famous people over and over again. Their testimonies, so-called, have been, I couldn't fill it. And the wise one is the one that filled it with Jesus. And so, anyway, you will never be satisfied with the things of this world. And so we will cover that in my message. That's my introduction to my sermon later on today. And so we've got some other current events and things. Anything happen in the world of sports there, Marshall?
Not much. It's kind of after the NBA Finals and the NHL Finals, it usually kind of winds down. The baseball season's going on. Even I don't even have tennis because Serena's pregnant. So
I know. I did see Serena say something about. Oh, it was about the women's hockey thing. We got to have more women in sports or something.
Oh, really?
Yesterday's, yeah.
Gotcha.
I was meant to say that, and I forgot. We do have some other current events and things. By the way, pray for your grandma. Do you know what happened to your grandma yesterday? How do you not know what happened to your family?
Because people don't tell me things.
You've been working hard, too.
I've been, yeah.
Yeah, some extracurricular work.
Yeah.
To try to keep you funded. She's walking in the parking lot of the shopping place in Springfield. Well, they have speed bumps in the parking lot. She didn't see it. She tripped over it, landed on her face. She has fractured her eye socket and her sinus cavity. So she's all busted and bruised, and it's fractured her face. So pray for Cindy's mom, his grandma, my mother-in-law today. Remember her in prayer. Speed bumps are speed. You got to have speed bumps, I suppose, because people don't slow down.
See it, I guess.
Not
it was just a speed
attention.
bump. It wasn't like a.
Didn't notice there was a speed bump there. I mean, you're not expecting. I guess when you're rolling your cart or you're carrying whatever or you're walking to the store or wherever. I don't know if she's going to or from. You expect a big bump in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah.
But they are there, and there they do serve a purpose. And but we just we'll pray for her. So Cindy spent the night with your grandma, and I spent the night wide awake with nobody at the house. I can't stand being alone. But I had my doggies. I had a 3-dog night.
3-dog night.
I was going to sing a 3-dog night song, but now I can't think of one.
I can't remember either.
Find a 3. So somebody tell us a 3-dog night song, okay? We got people up there?
David's with us, David Day.
Hey, Dave from Malibu, Missouri. He's the one that got me hooked on these Kevin Shirley Show mugs.
Kevin Shirley.
Ask Dave if they're on their way, because he's helping me get them. I hope they're on their way, because we have people that want to get them. All right, let's see. What do we have? We have, in India, new rule from the Supreme Court of India.
Okay.
You cannot run for office unless you have a toilet. I thought that was very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so you must have a toilet or you cannot, because it sets a bad example if you do not have running plumbing in your house in India. They're trying to, get more, because that is a rarity and very, in a lot of parts of India, believe it or not. Yeah.
They're very caste system,
Correct.
Yeah.
But now they're trying to, don't set a bad example. If you're going to run for office, you must have a toilet. It is part of the prerequisite for running for office.
Okay.
And
so no poor people, yeah.
Well, I guess not.
Guess not.
And also not, they can't run for office if they don't have a toilet. Here, they run for office because their life is in the toilet. No, I don't know. I was trying to find a joke, and it sounds mean-spirited. Okay, a couple of countries are rising up in financial. There's been no inflation this past year, in the past couple of years in Mexico. Mexico, their peso, even though it's like $17 less worth or whatever than the American dollar, still no inflation in Mexico, and investments are rising. There's new leadership in Argentina, since all the dictatorship or whatever was there is out. So Mexico, Argentina, finances rising up. As the world goes, as certain countries go, the world will start to go, and so they're saying, good things about America's economy now, and there's still some that are really struggling, but it's Mexico is our friend, is our neighbor, is our wonder, yes, and even if we have solar paneled walls,
and the Pope's from Argentina.
The
Pope is from Argentina.
No wonder it's blessed. There you go. Has to be blessed. Another country that's being blessed, the United Arab Emirates. Now, I don't know how they fit in with Muslims, and
their deal is
or at least terrorists.
Well, Emirates are like states.
Yeah.
So the United Arab Emirates is this place. It's over in sort of near Qatar, and it's just sort of these states that make up this, like states like we have that make up a country.
With a different Sunni and
their deal is that they figured out a long time ago that they'll be a lot happier if they get a bunch of tourists and make a lot of money and sort of be a little bit more advanced and not so much. There obviously is some extremism in those countries, but that's where Dubai is, where that they call that the billionaire's playground.
Right.
You know,
So so they must be doing well with tourism or whatever. They
Yeah.
they say they have purchased state-of-the-art fighter jets. They have 60,000 in their military now. And it's not really that large of a country, right? But
No,
it's
and
very
it's probably
powerful.
actually that's probably good for them. I mean, and because, like I said, I don't think that they are a country that's interested in like
All these
warfare.
fights and- yeah.
Yeah, I think that they would probably protect their own and protect their tourism and their stuff.
I think
you
that's
know?
what they're up to. Yeah.
Because that probably would be a big target. I mean, you know, they've got that. That's the place where the island. It's the world. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
You know, and then they have that. There's like they call it the sailboat building, which is this giant tall
Yeah.
hotel. You know?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the architecture alone over there now.
Right.
I mean, quite
you
a
would,
place. So
you
they
would
want
think
to
that would
protect
be
that.
a big target, you know. So
Big target. I mean, the largest buildings in the world are there, right?
Yeah,
Is that
I
where,
think it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there and no, I should have just stopped there because I used to know the tallest building because one of the holidayinsights.com we had tallest building and Justin and I did some sketch about tall buildings. I forget what it
Yeah,
was.
I can't remember either.
We had this was back when we were the first season back over in
Oh, okay,
Morningside,
gotcha.
so it was before your time. And
There's
what is
statues,
the
Kevin. I think
country?
the tallest statue is like 430 feet, and they're planning like one that's like 500 feet, one that's like 600 feet. They're all in Asia.
Wow,
They're
yeah,
crazy.
I think it's Singapore. It
Okay.
has some big buildings, but anyway. Also, with that 60,000 in the military, they are now everybody as of age have to enlist in the armed forces.
Oh,
It's
those
mandatory.
countries, yeah.
Yeah, United Arab Emirates. So it's mandatory. I think Israel does that, don't they?
Israel does
it's
that.
mandatory
Mhm.
for a season that they have to be part of the military. So very interesting. Speaking of military, this introduces our greedy group of the day.
Okay.
We have a greedy group of the day, and it's a vast group and it's a different group, but it's once again we don't judge people. We're just making an observation about greed, and we as a preacher, as ministry, we should call out sin when we see sin, and I think this is a sin. This is a crime. Because these greedy groups of the day, their only concern is the love of. It's all about. You gotta have. And this is not necessarily about money, but I don't know. The greedy group of the day to me are all the employers because they say, since post 9/11 especially, 30% of veterans are unemployed. And I think the greedy group is those employers who won't hire vets for one reason or another. I think that is a crime. That 30%, it should be any percentile. I think that anyone that says that they are of the armed forces, that's a veteran, should automatically be hired and taken care of and everything but worshipped. That's
why
just
that
how I
is,
feel about
Kev.
veterans. I don't know. They say there's been a rise up to 30% since 9/11. I don't
I wonder
know.
if it has anything to do with like post-traumatic stress or anything.
They could feel that they're not, but then they should. But the Veterans Administration, I know that had some issues or whatever,
Yeah, it
and
has
they're
some
working
major
on
problems,
them.
yeah.
But they should be taking care of them, mentally, physically, emotionally, in every which way. All of our veterans, if they served our country should serve them. And if you're an employer and you see a what is it called? It's been so long since I've had to fill one out.
Oh, an application?
Yeah, an application. Such a hard word. Send an application in. You should automatically give them some work. Please, veterans, along with teachers and farmers, these are neglected and not really taken care of in a large part. And I know that some are, and I know that some do well, but they all should be doing well. We cannot live without, we can't be free without our soldiers and our military. We cannot have food without our farmers, and we cannot have education for our next generation without our teachers. These are just musts for our nation. I'm on my soapbox. I should have a soapbox on the deal. Anybody tell us about Three Dog Night?
No.
No?
Phyllis just said good morning.
Good morning, Phyllis.
Watching
she gets up extra early now.
Oh, you know what she's doing?
What's she
doing?
doing?
She's watching as they drive to Phoenix. So she's probably on her phone or something. How cool.
She's groovy.
Yeah.
She's one cool chick.
You know, I dig this technology. Like yesterday, you know, I got the Watch ESPN app, which you can watch the sports. I've got YouTube on here. Yesterday, you know, Twitter live streamed the press conference or the news conference with Sessions. So I was watching that on my phone, and so it's really cool to be able to kind of take it with you, you know, and be able
How
to
did
keep
it go? The only thing I heard was that he says he didn't remember a lot of stuff.
Pretty much, and he basically said
the joke was he's been in office for 4 months and he can't remember.
Well, he pretty much that, and he also just basically said that he can't, you know, speak about anything that him and the president spoke about. The same thing the guy said the other day, and based on a policy. And so, like for instance, Senator Kamala Harris asked him, you know, what's this policy, and he just said, oh, it's written down somewhere.
Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions.
Yeah, so he didn't do great, but you know, it's all right.
We're going down into the Beauregard land here. We're going into Alabama this weekend. My wife and I are going down there to be at Cross Point Baptist Church with J.T. Guyton in Atmore, Alabama. So you're in Alabama, Florida, Mississippi area. Come on now. I have some friends that are coming from Pensacola to be there at that service, and then we're taping on Monday on his program. So we'll be with him before we get back home. And it's Father's Day, so don't forget your fathers, okay? What was
Fathers be good to your
daughter? Yeah, John Mayer?
Yep.
Yeah, oh, come on. Did we get a Three Dog Night? Can anybody look up? Of course, we could Google it, but I'd like to give you a prize. You can have a prize if you can tell me Three Dog Night. I will, when they come in, I will send you my new CD if you can name a Three Dog Night song. What? Did we get? Yeah. No, come on. Respond, answer, whatever. Where's Phyllis going, by the way? She's leaving Arizona?
Driving to Phoenix.
To Phoenix from Fort Mojave.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Phyllis, all right, you go.
Girl.
David, you should know this. You should know Three Dog Night. I don't think, maybe he doesn't. Well, while they're trying to come up with that, I guess we will go to one of my favorite segments of the A.M. Kevin show. It's our historical moment with Marshall Howden, and even more than the segment now. I dig this song. I like it. No, I love the segment more, but I really like this song. Here you go. We're going One Direction.
You and me had a whole lot of history.
Sing it, boys.
We could be the greatest team that the world has ever seen. You and me got a whole lot of history.
Boy, do we have a whole lot of history.
So don't let it go.
Not too much with the one term of Benjamin Harrison, but
Well,
what?
you know what's interesting?
Tell me.
You know, when we did the 4 at 4 show, this was the last president we got to.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they haven't canceled this show yet. So here we are.
Yes, this was the last president we got to because I went to Pat Summitt's funeral and we kind of
Really? I have no recollection.
I missed a week.
I don't remember
And y'all kinda
anything
stopped
about
doing the
Benjamin
show.
Harrison.
Yeah.
So,
So-
well, see, once you're gone, it falls apart. I remember he's a little man, right? Isn't he a short old man?
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
beard. It looked like every commercial of tobacco I've ever seen.
Right.
Because it looks like Prince. Who married Queen Victoria? We have to go through the queens
Prince Ivan.
next. That's what we'll have to.
Okay.
Not Prince Ivan. It was Prince. They named tobacco after him. That's why.
Prince Albert.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prince Albert. Oh, I mentioned the tobacco and you knew. Oh, it's live, folks. Can't edit that out. No, but
I don't know how I know that.
but I knew it too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, just because we've seen it. Not that we know what Prince Albert tobacco is. I've just seen the can or whatever. As a kid, Prince Albert was anyway.
Yeah.
So, what's that? I know. Just get the shovel. And but Benjamin Harrison kind of looked like that dude. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But okay, so Grover Cleveland, they did, right? Because he was
First
a Democrat.
term wasn't so
No.
bad.
No.
First term wasn't so bad. Second term, kind of, But really, I mean, as far it's funny you mentioned that though. I mean, as far as is modern politics. I mean, it really seems like the Republicans were a lot more in line like with what the Democrats are today. Like especially like this guy, because I'll get to that here in a second. But so Benjamin Harrison, 23rd president.
Where are you from?
Indiana.
Yep. Our first Indiana
That's
guy.
right.
Where in Indiana? Do you know?
Well,
I'd like to
I know
go.
he died in Indianapolis, and he has a home there, so it might have been born there. Yeah.
Oh, see, now I've never gone to see that, and I go
Cool.
to Indianapolis all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got something. I got to remember that. Benjamin Harrison. Okay, go ahead.
So 1889 to 1893, Republican. Vice president was Levi P. Morton.
All right, Levi P. Morton.
So he had
Jeffrey
really.
Beauregard Sessions and Levi P. Morton.
So here's the deal with Benjamin Harrison. He had really become kind of the money candidate. This is kind of the Republican Party had kind of grown to become the party of big business at this time. And so he was backed by a lot of different kind of special interest groups, And so for its entire existence, the Republicans up to this point were the party of protectionism. So that meant taxing imports as a way to shield countries, domestic industries from foreign competition. And it's interesting because we talked about yesterday, because we had to go sort of a little skip in time because we went to after him. So
is he considered the 22nd and 24th?
Yes,
or,
he is.
Okay.
And that's,
So our numbers are kind of off.
Our numbers are off.
So if Trump is the
45th,
we've only had 44 presidents.
Yeah, it's true.
He's the 45th, but we've only had 44.
Yeah.
Oh, that will always be off. Thank you, Grover Cleveland.
Unless somebody was expunged or something, maybe.
No, yeah.
I was trying to think of somehow you could get back on track or something, but
they want to expunge. No, you can't expunge. They'll always, once they're president, they'll always be known as they were our president, even if they're impeached. But okay. So Benjamin.
So we talked about Grover Cleveland.
I love that name, Benjamin. By the way,
Benjamin's a great name. I think I'm gonna name my son that, Benjamin Jackson.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
BJ.
Yeah. Well,
BJ Howard.
probably Ben. Yeah, go by Ben, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's already a Ben. You can't mess things up. No.
We have a cousin named
Your
Ben,
cousin
but
Ben,
you can have,
There's Ben and Ben? No, you can't do that to us. That's like the 22nd and 24th president, Grover. Just name him Grover as a nickname.
Yeah, Grover.
His name is Benjamin Jackson, but we're going to call him Grover. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about Cleveland repealing the McKinley Tariff. Well, this is when Benjamin Harrison put forth the McKinley Tariff. McKinley, a congressman at this time who ended up becoming president, passed this law. The highest tariff in U.S. history.
Whoa.
And what that created was essentially, not only did it create, price gouging in America because they didn't have really any foreign competition, but it created a lot of monopolies of different industries, American companies where that's great. It's buy and sell American. That's all great. But when you have monopolies and not competition,
so it didn't
that's
turn
not
out
the
to be a
free
good
market.
thing.
Yeah. So it's interesting because for a lot of the modern history, Republicans have been the party of free trade.
Right.
Now, with our current president, we're not sure where that's going. He's made a lot of comments against free trade.
Yeah.
But also the Democrats seem to be going against free trade. Maybe that's something that just both parties are kind of evolving towards, kind of being a little bit less open to just blanket free trade deals like NAFTA. We've
it seems like we get ripped every time.
Yeah, and especially our workers, and that's.
But the high tariffs will never work either, obviously, from Benjamin Harrison.
That's what we're saying.
Got to
yeah,
split
so
the difference.
Split the difference, and so the idea is kind of like because he was always, and the Republicans at this time were saying basically that this is going to help the workers if we had high tariffs, and it ended up backfiring on them and mainly hurting the workers and the consumers most of all. So this is interesting. He was our centennial president, right? So 1789, Washington was inaugurated. 1889, Benjamin Harrison was inaugurated. So he actually reenacted Washington's entire inaugural and was inaugurated in New York City as opposed to Washington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was always because of this, because he was centennial president, he was in the shadow of this man, that man, but certainly also in the shadow of his grandfather. Now you wonder, well, his grandfather was only in office for a month. But his grandfather was a war hero, so he still was sort of.
William Henry Harrison is his grandfather.
Is his grandfather, the only grandson.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
The grandfather-grandson deal. Now, but before, back up, he comes out of Indiana. How? Was he in Congress or was he?
So remember how Grover Cleveland was the first to not serve.
Yeah.
Benjamin Harrison was in the war.
He was in the Civil War.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
he came out of that into office?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think it was senator, just
So
worked
he
his
may
way
have
up
knew
like
Abraham
people
Lincoln
do.
as well.
Might have, yeah. Especially Republican. They say he had a glacial personality, really extremely formal. Not too sort of
Glacial.
Yeah,
He's an iceberg. Huh?
Nice, yeah, the iceberg.
Okay.
Of course, this
Oh,
is how
it's-
historians.
You know
say,
who the greatest iceberg of all presidents was?
Who?
According to history.
Coolidge.
Yes.
Yes.
Calvin Coolidge. They called him Cool Cal? No.
Silent Cal.
Silent
yeah,
Cal.
yeah.
He didn't even talk.
Right.
Okay.
So, but he ended up alienating all the political bosses within the Republican Party, through different things. I think a lot of times, especially back then, it almost seemed like it was easier back then to throw off the special interest that got you there as it is today. It seems like when you get there today, even presidents who have, seem to have good intentions, it seems like they all say that when you get there, your intentions go astray, or you kind of it's harder. Your idealism leaves you really quickly.
Well, I see it as this. I've always seen it as this, and I don't know that that's necessarily good. But here's your special interest groups, or here's your whoever groups, lobbyists, whatever, here. And when you're running, you're here. He's rah, 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 rah. And now when you get into office, they're all around you, and they're there. And so they speak into you, and maybe one opinion you might have had here may change a little because now they've told you all the facts, so that's the plus side.
Yep.
Or on the bad side, throwing you extra money. So that's kind of how I think that changes, good or bad. That's
Makes
just
sense.
life.
Yeah, for sure. So, but we had talked about how Grover Cleveland was a person who believed. And this is why I said, in some ways, the parties have switched, and people always say that the parties sort of just flip flopped, but that was always a very simple explanation. But it seems like perhaps at the end of the 1800s that the parties did flip flop. I mean, in fact, they called Teddy Roosevelt, who was going to be president really soon, like the first quote unquote progressive. And what they sort of mean by that is sort of what his cousin did, sort of a more proactive government. And that's sort of where it comes in. The Democrats of today believe more in a stronger central government, that the government can play a role in people's lives, as opposed to the Republican Party, who's sort of traditionally, at least in the modern era, believes in limited government, and more sort of freedom for the people. And so those are just different things. But it sure seemed at this time that it was sort of flipped, because Grover Cleveland was a person who, he said, I don't really believe the government can do a lot of things, or should. So he kind of vetoed many bills, whereas Benjamin Harrison, he passed comprehensive veterans and pension plans, which Grover Cleveland had neglected to do, but Benjamin Harrison was a soldier, so I think it was something important to him. But it ended up being a very high spending administration. So again, we're going into something that people usually associate with Democrats, So very interesting.
Taxes.
Yep, taxes.
Tax and spend.
So like we said, foreign manufacturers have stopped exporting to the United States, and it just really hit us really hard. And so this is kind of something that, he kind of struggled in that arena, and was only a one-term president, probably because of that, because there was just a lot of times you can tell by the economy what's going to happen, And so it's like they tried him real quick. They tried kind of the big spender, the high doer, and it's like, let's go back to this guy.
They go back to Grover, but
we
really didn't do anything great in the first 4 terms. Right? I mean, so why would they go back to? Well, depends on who's. Oh, he ran again. Did he try to run?
He ran again. Yeah.
And Grover beat him.
Yep. But this is really interesting. One little, just final kind of interesting thing about Benjamin Harrison was he put electricity in the White House. Yeah, but they were, but a lot of times they were too afraid to turn on the switches.
Yeah, because it could start fires. I mean, it would be wires around the. Have you seen Disney's Carousel? Have you been to Disney World?
Yeah, when I was 8, though, a long time ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Carousel Progress. They show the early 1900s, whatever. And, there's wires everywhere, and circuits, and
Yes.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
So that's Benjamin Harrison, and didn't get too much into kind of what he did after his presidency, but
no. Well, I have to find out. I'm going to go Indiana. We go to Indianapolis quite a bit, so yeah.
But I always come in with all my pages each day, and I kind of I kind of rewatch some of the speeches of some of the historians and reread some of the stuff, but I kind of just come in and just add a few different notes, but I'm gonna have to really tomorrow. I'll have to start again making all these pages again of all my notes. So
yeah, because that's the end. So
My
now
last
you got to
one,
start over.
yeah.
So any more about Grover and so he finished with
We pretty much did
the
22 and 24
1890
yesterday.
depression or something, a scare, right? And so that was
Yeah.
well, that was his first term,
Mm-hmm.
and Benjamin Harrison pretty much collected that.
Well, at this point, we're at the point where it's the monetary debate, bimetallism versus the gold standard, and so this is where we get into the point of William Jennings Bryan running, and he ran against William McKinley twice. Remember we were saying the other day that's the only time that it's ever been somebody ran against the same person and lost again. In other words, people have ran against the same person, but it flipped.
They don't go back.
Yeah, and so, but he lost again to him, and I think actually William Jennings Bryan ran 4 times.
Whoa!
So, and he was.
Maybe we should talk about him. He must be
I
an
no, I
interesting
think we should
character.
talk about him. In fact, he is.
Now McKinley's next, normally,
Right.
right? But yeah.
But he is the Cowardly Lion. That's who Baum based the Cowardly Lion on. Because
Really?
Yep. Because
did he act like that? Did he?
well, the whole thing is that L. Frank Baum was a believer in the bimetallism, a Democrat at this time, and
the writer of Wizard of Oz.
the writer of the Wizard of Oz, and he just believed that William Jennings Bryan had the correct belief system and the correct things that he stood for, but sometimes was a little cowardly. So, there you go. Yeah. He was also sort of a rotund type of figure. He kind of looked like the lion character,
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
The, the
I've seen.
Scarecrow's the farmers, the Tin Man's the manufacturers. They all come together. The
Seriously?
Wicked Witch of the West is Andrew Carnegie. And the
Oh,
banks.
was
Yeah,
he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and water. They throw water on her. That's liquidating the banks. It's all a whole deal.
Is
yeah.
that true?
Oh yeah.
All
it's-
that?
mhm,
Wow.
yeah.
Because I know you love Wizard of Oz,
Well,
but I didn't know there was a
Alfred
political.
Baum stumped for William Jennings Bryan. He was living in Chicago at this time. It was a major deal.
Well, to run 4 times, he must have been. People
Yeah.
must have liked him.
Yeah, he was
somehow.
a major figure.
Was he not involved in the big court trials? Or am I
Yes,
mixing his name
yes, he was the Scopes trial. He
up?
defended
About evolution?
Yeah, he was on the Christian side of that. Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was against.
No, he was. Yeah.
Huh. Well, who was the guy that was against him? Wasn't there a?
Can't remember off the top of my head, but
They called it the Scopes Monkey Trial.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Out of Tennessee, actually.
Yeah, was it in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Bro, we need to do William Jennings Bryan.
Yeah,
then
we'll do him.
tomorrow.
Let's do him
Can we do
tomorrow.
him tomorrow?
Okay, yeah.
Before we go to McKinley. McKinley's big. I've been to all McKinley's stuff, and I think he did a lot. I mean, he was the first World's Fair, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That we had in America.
Mhm,
I don't know if it was before then. But
Yeah,
we
William
need to work
Jennings
on-
Bryan's from Nebraska. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now we get some more Western.
Yeah.
The first Indiana, because everybody's New York, Virginia, whatever, Massachusetts, and now we have Indiana, Ohio,
funny,
now Indiana.
Ohio and Indiana considered the West, but they were back then.
West of then,
No,
yeah.
they were back then, absolutely.
Because there was no.
Yeah.
I mean,
They called.
they had the gold rush in California by now and all that
Well,
stuff.
Ohio,
and Texas, but
back in the expansion days, was considered the Northwest Territory. Ohio, yeah.
yeah, well, and Tennessee, parts
Yeah,
of
Tennessee
Tennessee
was sort of the Southwest in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So, we had all that. Was it Jackson considered Tennessean then?
Yeah, Jackson was a Tennessean.
Even
He
though
was
he
born
was born in-
born in the Waxhaws region, which is right in the middle of South Carolina and North Carolina, but moved to Nashville and became a lawyer when he was really young. And your state that you come from
Yeah,
is based
tell me how
on
that
it's
works.
based on where you're elected from. So they all hold some kind of office, or
Okay.
if not, they were a military leader. But in other words, a military leader, if they're a military leader, it's where they last lived. It's where you come from essentially. It's not where you're born.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
because like the
Yeah,
for instance-
because then Obama would be the president from Hawaii, but he's
right,
not.
but he's considered from Illinois.
Illinois.
Or
Right.
just
I see.
There's a lot of examples. Like we talked about Zachary Taylor, Louisiana, but he wasn't born in Louisiana. He was
Lincoln, Illinois.
Lincoln,
but he
yeah,
was born in Kentucky. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anybody hit Three Dog Night song? Do we know any
No,
Three
I
Dog
don't
Night?
think so. Oh yeah,
Oh, who?
Phyllis.
Phyllis.
Joy to the world.
Oh yeah, of course, Joy to the World. But
What a
there
girl
was
time.
another song that I was thinking of, and I don't know. What
I
it
didn't
was.
know. She had said that a little bit ago, and I just think she was saying, "Oh, like some joy,
Joy to the
world."
World.
Like, yeah.
No, it's Jeremiah was a bullfrog. That one. Was a good friend of mine. Okay, but anyway, I had a Three Dog Night. And the cat didn't sleep with me last night. He
Yes.
was somewhere else. I don't know where, but he showed up this morning.
This guy
He crawls in my lap in the morning. It's the
This
cutest
guy at
thing.
our hotel last night, Kevin. Yeah. He was talking to me about
Your hotel. Explain. You work
yeah,
part-time
I'm
at a hotel.
doing some part-time at a hotel.
You don't own a hotel.
Front desk. No, that'd be nice. But he started talking about, I'm not a big fan of dogs, but he started talking about, fleas and ticks and everything, which is. But he was
Hate
getting
'em.
me itching, man. You know how that psychologically, when people talk about that stuff, you start
Yes.
itching. And I'm like, dude, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So.
I know. You start feeling that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I know. Well, we want to help you get away from fleas and ticks. No. We want to help you lose weight. I noticed a few more ounces were off of my weight again today because I am dieting, but this started me on my way, and I'm going to order more. We got to order more. Help me order more. CLA is the way to way.
Claw.
Way to way, CLA. And then essential energy, that keeps me going, and it's, in place of caffeine and stuff, but it has good properties in it. But then there's the smart caps. I said I was going to do research on the vinpocetine, or vinpocetine. This helps your brain function, I know, but it dilates your blood vessels throughout the body, including in the brain. I guess that's a good thing because it keeps them moving. Improves blood circulation and prevents and alleviates cerebral insufficiency, which is your brain function. May improve the flexibility of your red blood cells, thereby help to prevent strokes. A reduction in the flexibility of red blood cells is associated with the increased risk of stroke. So may inhibit irritation and inflammation of the stomach as well, and may even in some cases, vinpocetine has improved impaired hearing and sensorineural hearing loss, inner ear problems, wow, vertigo and tinnitus. My mom had that. One time she had this vertigo. She couldn't stand up. She was in pain, and it's this weird crystallization inside your ears.
Of like the fluids, right? So because your
I guess. I don't know what
I
if they
think
know.
your ear almost works like a level, Kevin.
Yeah.
And it's for balance, like the liquid in your ears, it like balances out like a level. And so I think that's what it is. If it crystallizes, it can't balance at all. It's like you lose your sense of
Yeah. Oh, crazy. So this helps ears. It says it helps eyes, night blindness. This is an antioxidant. Brings alertness and stuff to the brain, and may even improve any kind of brain functions to prevent any kind of brain diseases like dementia or Alzheimer's. Or it says anxiety. Oh, wow, that takes away more. But that's all in this vinpocetine.
Vinpositively fantastic.
Vinpositively fantastic. And so I went with the powers that be, and this is not 150, I said on one show, 130, because these are 40. Of course, you can get them separate, and then this is 50. So that is normally 130. But for $100, you get the 3 heads of Mount Rushmore. This is what I call my 3 heads of Mount Rushmore. We should have a 4th, but for $100, we can only do 3. This helps you weight loss. This helps your brain function. This helps you with energy. But the side effects of it are so good. Unlike pharmaceuticals, who have one good thing and 5 bad side effects, this has 1 good thing and 5 or 10 more good side effects. And so everything that helps, I want to help you, and that helps us as well. Also, not just on the inside, but on the outside, Pamela Rensink is offering, the number is 870-426-4147. That's 870-426-4147. 870-426-4147. Did I say it? 870-426-4147. You can get these facial creams, especially, or as they say in Indiana, especially the non-surgical facelift. No doctors, no needles, no delays, no spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Feel younger in minutes. Look at this lady right here. If you could see before and after, there's one. She has a firming elastin cream. She has a lot of things. Call and you get that stuff and the different things. She has the 5 thing a day you do for your face to help you look younger. She has the firming cream. She also has, matter of fact, if you say that you ordered from the Kevin Shore Show, you see the before and the after, and they say if you mention this, you get the lift kit. They're going to give it to you half price if you get the whole system. And that's a cool deal. And they're going to give you a gift of some aloe cream that is really, really good. You especially need that at summertime. You're going to get some sunburns. I went out and hedged my bushes over the weekend, and I went out there about 10 o'clock, almost 11, I think, when the sun is the hottest. And I could feel the sun burning on my neck, and I thought, oh, I better do something. So I ran in to get some sunscreen. But, you know, sometimes you forget the sunscreen in your whole face and red, and it's not really good for you. Some sun is really good. It has vitamin D, and you need that. But, you know, the burning of the skin, not good. Skin cancers and all that stuff. Anyway, you can get some aloe vera. She's sending that to you free with your purchase, and mention the Kevin Shorey Show. So call 870-426-4147 today. We had her on here, and Norma, who's like 120 years old. I mean, she lost at least 20 years off her face, so she only looked 100. I'm just kidding. She's not here, so I can talk
she
to
might
her.
be.
Yeah, she probably will.
She thinks she's watching.
She'll get me. She'll get me. But, we're going to go in the Word, but I do want to thank our monthly partners, like Phyllis, like Phyllis, oh, by the way, you want to call Scott real quick? Harmony, one of the groups in Harmony is sick. The trio's not coming. So he needs to maybe know that about. But Josh Clark's on today.
Ooh.
But we do our show every day because of you and friends like Phyllis, like Cliff and Joyce, so many of those that are our family of friends. And this month's gift, maybe this is an incentive. We send you gifts every month if you sign up as a family of friend at $34 a month. This month we're going to pick a CD like the Blue Trio, The Sound, James Payne, James Huey, Sacred Fire. We have Prince Ivan, all those different ones. Prince Ivan's groovy. I don't know if some of our partners, I don't know if they can handle that groovy, because it's like really groovy. Music, and then we're sending you this print that's specifically made just for us. We're the only ones that have it. It's called We Remember. And we do need to remember our country for sure. Anyway, we're thankful that we can do that and get the gospel message out. We not only do the program, but we travel around the country. Never mind, Scott's here. It just dawned on me. I should have called you this morning. But to get the gospel message out, to travel, like we're going to Atmore, Alabama. There is no, I don't, when we go places, I don't say, this is how much we need to come. We don't do all that. We are supported by our family of friends like you to do the television program and to travel around the world and preach the gospel. And that's a big feat, and it takes, unfortunately, a lot of money. And we need your help. If you're not helping, please help us today, especially if you're being blessed by us. Dr. Saxon, that helps us with the supplements, said it's like shoplifting.
Yeah.
You get all the different gifts, but you don't, you run off without paying for them. And of course, we're not selling the gospel, but if we want it to go forth, the world system is with money, gold or silver.
That's right.
And we have to use that.
Or, as Lincoln called them, the greenbacks.
The greenbacks.
See,
was
Lincoln
he the one that termed that?
Yeah, Lincoln, they were the greenback party because their idea was for fiat money, the idea that it wasn't going to be necessarily a metal. We were just going to release money as credit, which it's a good idea, except for you end up owing, 100 and some odd trillion dollars to the Fed. So, but yeah,
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. Well, let's go with being satisfied. When it comes to money, some people are never satisfied. When it comes to fame, they're never satisfied. Drugs, alcohol. They say any person that takes the first drink, 1 out of 10. So you have the odds of 1 out of 10 becoming a chronic alcoholic. I mean, because it's something to fill something. People fill, even in churches or not churches, but just all people that gossip. They're filling a need there by trying to talk about other people's problems. So they're not. That's what I thought Jerry Springer and all those shows were about. They're trying to. You like to watch that because then you escape your own problems and you're talking about other people's problems. And so you're trying to fill these all naturally when Jesus said that you can be filled to overflowing. As a matter of fact, in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 6, he says, "Blessed are those that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." You can be filled, he said, filled to overflowing, like rivers of living water that flow through you, living, not stagnant, junk. You see, whatever you consume, that's what you are. You are what you eat, is what we used to say, and they taught us in school. And people try so many things and still are never satisfied. The song of the 60s and 70s was, I can get no satisfaction. It was the anthem because no matter how you tried, the drugs and it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll back in those days, and I don't think it's changed much. Satisfaction.
That's interesting. That song's actually kind of poignant, actually. Then,
yeah. I mean, it speaks to the soul crying out for more. But it never can be. A soul can never be satisfied except with God. It doesn't mean we don't have any problems. That's not what satisfaction. Satisfaction, the dictionary says, is to fulfill your desires, your expectations, your needs, or your demands. The things that you just have need of. And I'm telling you, I've heard Bill Maher, other different atheists or different ones that don't believe in any kind of form of religion or God say, people use it as a crutch. And I say, better that we have a crutch and we're wrong, then you be miserable the rest of your life, because at least we are satisfied, we are happy, we have joy. Happy comes from the word happenstance. It means it's things that can make you temporarily happy. But joy is something that is ongoing. It's inward, that comes out. Happiness is outward, it tries to go in, but it never can. Joy is something that's a peace. It brings a peace and a joy in your heart. I've heard that peace is joy. Let's see, what is it? Joy is peace dancing. So you just have that peace,
like
and then
that.
isn't that good? That joy is peace dancing, and so that is the key. And the Bible clearly says that this is true, and all of us can testify that it's true. I don't know why more people don't at least try God. I always tell them, try Jesus. What do I tell them? It's a guaranteed deal.
Yep.
Try Jesus for 6 months. He takes away all your sins. If you don't like how it's going, you can get all your sins back. But it's a guaranteed deal. I like this. Psalm 16:8 says this. It says that I have set the Lord always before me. It's a psalm of David. He says, I always set the Lord before me, because he's at my right hand, and I will not be moved on this. And he will then, in verse 11, show me the path of life, and in his presence is fullness of joy, and in his right hand there are pleasures forevermore. He's saying, I put God always before me, knowing that my true satisfaction, my joy, my fulfillment in life, my needs, my desires, my expectations will all be fulfilled if he is before me. And then I will be in his presence, and in his presence is the fullness, the totality of joy. C.S. Lewis says, God can't give us peace and joy or happiness apart from himself, because there is no such thing. There is no true peace or joy or happiness apart from God. God can't give us that apart from himself, because there would be no such thing. You're only satisfied in him. What's the answer? Living a lifestyle, David said it, Psalm 16:8. I just moved it again, but it's there. He says, I always set the Lord before me. He is always at my right hand. How is that? In the presence of the Lord is fullness of joy. How do you have him at your right hand, before you, or in his presence? What is the protocol for the presence of the king? Just like it would be Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, or any king, even a president, there's a protocol to approach them. With the queen, it's to bow or curtsy, and it's never to just right out extend your hand or go and hug her. There's a protocol. Just flashed through my mind George W. Bush hugging the German
No, he gave her a back rub.
He gave her a back rub, that's it. Yeah. Did somebody else grab her and hug her, though? I thought, no, maybe not. Yeah, he gave her a back rub. Not quite the protocol of presidents.
She's chancellor. She's not, but yeah, I don't know if you back rub. But.
Right, yeah. So there's a protocol with the King of Kings. And it's a lifestyle of worship. It's worship and adoration. Worship comes from the words worth and ship, worthship, finding worth and finding something worthy. He is worthy. To let him know that he's worthy is what worship is. That's how you walk into his presence. And there's a protocol, though. One psalm says of David, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. So there's there was the tabernacle that was set up in the Old Testament. When he died on the cross, he cut the curtain so that we could have access even to the Holy of Holies and in his presence. But there still is the kind of the protocol in the Spirit. We don't have to go from the outer court, give a sacrifice, go to the inner court, sacrifice into the Holy of Holies. We can go through the Holy of Holies, but there is still this protocol. Enter his gates, come into the gates. I'm thankful, I praise you. In his courts, then into the courts with praise, in the outer courts, inner courts. Praise is just kind of joy and exuberance and, yes, God, thank you. I pray. Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. You did this for me. I thank you for this. Yeah, so it's thanksgiving. Thank you for what you did. Telling him who he is and all he did. And then and this is a deeper study that I can go through in just a couple minutes. But you go from the courts into the Holy of Holies by then worshiping who he is. For you are God. You are my creator. You are the God and master of the universe. And that's the worship. So it's praise. Praise and worship are two different kind of styles. So you go to the outer courts in praise and into the inner courts with worship. And that's how you usher in his presence. And I would also say, as David said, keep him always before you. Keep an atmosphere of God before you. I'm alone in my car. I'm alone in my office. Wherever I'm at, I always acknowledge that God is always around. Wherever I'm at, in my house, always acknowledging him where he's at. So keep an atmosphere of the King and of worship. And stay, as they say, are you all in? Mm-hmm. David set the example, I'm all in. I'm going to stay all in. It's all or nothing. I even wrote a song, maybe on a CD sometime. I never recorded it, but I wrote it for somebody else, but I really like it, and they recorded it. But I think it's called All or Nothing. That's what God desires. Said it's all or nothing. Okay, I can't give it away, then you'll steal it. So anyway, also, last but not least, we've talked about presidents. This week I've been wearing one of my favorite presidents. Says, if we're not one nation under God, we'll be one nation that goes under. We saw that in the news today again. Our nation is falling apart in so many different ways. Still the greatest nation on earth. But in these ways, we've got to come back to God. So let's pray for that. And as I pray for you, God, I pray a blessing on folks that they will stay in your presence. I always acknowledge you. May they always acknowledge you as well, that you're always there. You're always there, always before us, always around us. Let us keep that worship atmosphere wherever we go, whatever we do, whatever decision that we make. And you help us discern good from evil. And I do pray that all the people involved in this shooting, God, that they will be healed and there'll be no horrible tragedies out of this. And somehow, God, you'll make something good out of it, as you always do. I pray for everybody within the sound of my voice. Bring healing, life, strength, joy, and peace. And we'll give you praise in Jesus' name. Our T-shirts are the specials. So get this one today. All sizes we can send to your way. Be back at 11 o'clock with Josh Clark.